Washington and Maryland. We've got Washington 5.5-point road favorites, 52 the total here in this game. Little Big Ten action. Washington coming off the disappointing loss against Ohio State. Now having to go West Coast to East Coast here. Look, I still like Washington's offense, but I think we got to upgrade Ohio State's defense after that performance. That just might be a really good Ohio State defense. And they certainly showed it on Saturday. 6 points was all Washington was able to muster, a couple of field goals. DeMond Williams actually was very efficient, 18 for 22. No interceptions, didn't make mistakes, but just the 173 through the air. Jonah Coleman, a great running back, really got held down pretty well in that game. Only 70 rushing yards. And the defense, I thought played better for Washington, but again, when your offense can't generate eventually, you're going to give up points, and that happened in the second half. So we'll see if there's a bounce back here for Washington against a Maryland team that is off a bye week, but they beat a Wisconsin team 27-10 that lost their quarterback to injury, Billy Edwards, in that game. And they finished that game with Danny O'Neal, who is horrible, who continues to be horrible and hasn't shown any improvement at all at the quarterback spot. So I kind of think that Maryland wins a little bit overrated. A Wisconsin team that's just, we'll get to them in a second, just seems to be falling apart right now. I think Washington's the better team. The only thing I'm concerned about is obviously the travel spot. You're going West Coast to East Coast, but I think Washington's just better. It's lay it or don't play it for me. I don't trust Maryland. Malik Washington showed early in the season for Maryland, glimpses. He's a pretty good quarterback for this Terrapins team. But, that came against Florida Atlantic, who's got a horrible defense. Since then, they only scored 20 against Northern Illinois, 44 against Towson, really doesn't say much. And the 27 points they scored against Wisconsin, some of that was just, mistakes, and there was some turnovers in play in that game as well. Inefficiency on offense kind of wore down the Wisconsin defense. So we'll see how this one plays out. I don't know if I bet Washington, but I just think I trust Washington and their coach a little more. I'm still not a big fan of Loxley. Gorky says he's the better. I don't know about that. I don't think he's the best X's and O's guy, Loxley, quite honestly. But like I said, I lean Washington here. Don't know if I bet it, though. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if I bet this game at all. It's just the travel. We've seen these teams go out east. Washington and the bounce back. We talked about it. I just think Ohio State's defense, is for real in the travel. And there's still some question marks about Washington. Some thought were really, really, good. But, they hung in that game. I thought the defense, played all right too. What do we get? I don't know what to make of Maryland. They were in who they played a little bit. Wisconsin's horrible. Towson, of course, they beat Northern Illinois 20-9. I don't think they're very good, but here we are. They're 4-0 and have Washington here. So this line, it's just not enough. Maryland, the way they played, they need to be way bigger dog to look their way. I don't know if Washington's going in there, winning huge, but I think they could go in there and win by a touchdown. But I don't know if I get here in this one.
I'm looking at the Washington results last year on the Big Ten road when they made those road trips to the East. They actually went 4 straight up in ATS. Now, Rutgers, Iowa, Indiana, Penn State, some of those were really good teams.
Rutgers, they kind of blew that game. I remember.
That's a game they could have won and should have won, and they outgained and outstatted Rutgers and somehow found a way to lose. So, yeah, there's enough meat on that bone to say I probably won't be laying 5.5 with Washington.
Yeah.
I do think they're better than Maryland, but boy, oh boy, those numbers last year and Jed Fish's first year with those, it's kind of like a mini Lincoln Riley at USC that's not very good with these Midwest and East Coast road trips. In the Big Ten. Yeah.
Maryland gets the bye, too. Maybe they're live. Shit.
Situationals are all pointing to Maryland here, 100%, no question. But I just don't think they're as great a football team as people think. And I think that Wisconsin game has propped them up a bit. And I think Wisconsin's terrible.